Okay, so should you pick up the super powerful iPad Pro? Now, you may not need that much power, in which case the iPad Air 4 may be more your speed, or even the iPad 8. Which iPad are you? Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so switching gears here today and talking, the iPad family. And my hope is that by the end of this video, you will have maybe an idea of where you stand in terms of which iPad would fit your lifestyle or your tablet's needs, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the very first one, the super familiar and super popular iPad Pro, which is of course the mother of performance. And let's do so by doing a quick recap of what it is packing so that we know what we're dealing with here. It's a very popular and sleek looking tablet with that uniform bezel around the face there. No Touch ID, but instead we have Face ID sensors to unlock the tablet. Dual camera module on the back here that provides nice picture and video quality. It's compatible with the Apple Pencil 2nd generation. It comes with a USB Type-C port, quad speaker setup that produce excellent sound, and most importantly, it's running Apple newest M1 chipset in case you were picking up the one from this year, the 2021 iPad Pro, or if you're picking up the one from last year, you'll be looking at the A12Z Bionic chip. You get 8 gigs of RAM for the base model, which by the way was actually disclosed by Apple themselves this time. You get ProMotion technology with an amazingly bright display and a few more things. It's a top-notch Pro tablet that's going to run you about $800 for the base model, but in terms of the iPad family, this is as close as you will get to a computer using any of these tablets. And of course, I'm talking in terms of productivity, especially with that RAM increase. As always, it's loaded with iPad OS, and as always, it runs super smooth. iPad Pros are known to just eat up graphic intensive projects or graphic intensive tasks or even graphic intensive games like it's nothing really. And the high price tag on the iPad Pro will always afford you the best that Apple offers in terms of performance and also user experience on the tablet side. The M1 chip, along with the other specs, is taking this year's iPad Pro just to another level. And I'm really looking forward to confirming that once mine gets delivered. By the same token, I also want to see how well that M1 chip on the iPad Pro matches up with the M1 chip on my M1 MacBook Air. So I think that's enough details on the iPad Pro to figure out whether this one is for you. And before we do so, if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome, of course. If you do like the content so far, I truly appreciate that. Now, please do me a huge favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel. And again, I very, very much appreciate that. All right, so do you work on heavy, graphic intense tasks or projects? Are you some kind of a visual art professional? You know what I mean? The way you need something powerful. Do you need all of the RAM that you could get your hands on, or all of the cores, all of the extra cores that are being offered by the iPad Pro? 5G connectivity, Face ID, or a high refresh rate through ProMotion with a more souped up camera when compared to the other iPads? Are you a pro who needs a Pro tablet? Then this one is for you. Also, do you just like the iPad Pro? This might not be for you too, but you can get it also. Next here is going to be the iPad Air 4, and I want to go ahead and talk about the design real quick before we delve into many of the details that actually make up this tablet. The iPad Air 4 design was borrowed from its big brother, the very popular iPad Pro that we just went over. So you get that kind of a squarish look with a uniform bezel, slightly thicker, but still very stylish on here. And this tablet also shares the Apple Pencil and Magic Keyboard that the iPad Pro uses. And in this case here, you don't get Face ID, but you get Touch ID, and that is embedded in the power button. The back of the tablet houses a single camera module instead of a dual one. You have flat sides here, also with a Quad HD speaker look, like it is the case on the iPad Pro, but in reality, you only get 2 speakers here instead of 4. Then you also have a USB Type-C here, which actually makes things easier for you in terms of accessories, functionality. Then you also have a laminated display here. It's an IPS display with 1640 by 2360 for the res, and the refresh rate here is locked at 60 Hertz, but it's still smooth. It's loaded with Apple's A14 Bionic chip, which is very fast, and it's also coupled with 4 gigs of RAM. So this tablet does pack a pretty powerful processor, essentially making it a productivity ready tablet. The processor found here is even faster than the A12Z found on last year's iPad Pro. It's just super snappy through everyday tasks, including multitasking without stutters or without crashes. So again, it's a mid-range tablet that can handle high productivity tasks. And the battery here on the iPad 4 here, it's pretty decent. It's really going to depend on the type of use, on your type of usage, right? So my usage is definitely going to be different than yours. So it's going to depend on what you do with it. With all that being said, it comes down to this. Are you a student? Then this thing is likely to be perfect for you. It's super powerful enough to help you accomplish your tasks. Very nice screen for entertainment and games. And if you are a gamer, this tablet may also be right for you. It's really just going to power through all of those games. Small business owner, sure, it will definitely help you run all light, medium, or even heavy admin tasks, or even POS system related tasks that you may be running in your business. Bottom line is that the iPad Air 4 here is going to do most of the things that the iPad Pro can do, except it's going to do most of those things with a cheaper, price tag. It's a little bit more affordable than the iPad Pro. And finally here, the iPad 8 will offer you a fairly large 10.2-inch non-laminated Retina IPS display. You also get a headphone jack, a Lightning port, Touch ID, which is super fast and secure, 2 stereo speakers, and of course the front there with that non-uniform style bezel. So even though this tablet lacks some of the features that we saw, with the previous 2 tablets, some of the stuff that actually make the previous 2 kind of premium tablet, this one still doesn't feel, it doesn't feel particularly cheap. It is loaded with 3 gigs of RAM and the A12 Bionic chip with neural engine, which depending on the type of tasks that you're running on your iPad 8 could actually offer you some pretty respectable, editing performance. It does have a pretty impressive GPU performance and doesn't really struggle with light video editing or even medium video editing. It would also handle all medium and even heavy games with no issues. It does have a pretty decent battery. You have an 8 megapixel main camera on the back there, and it supports the Apple Pencil first generation. So my take is go for this guy if you're looking for a budget iPad. It's really, really worth the money. It's a very capable device, and it's also loaded with tons of features. Plus, you're going to be running iPad OS, which is such a stable operating system. So this is definitely a good buy. It actually handles multitasking, as I mentioned, pretty well. And this tablet tends to be just the perfect tablet for students. In fact, even many small businesses can be run from this tablet. So it all boils down to what you will be doing with your tablet, right? But anyways, all 3 tablets are fantastic devices, right? So Apple is known for making quality devices, and these things will be supported for, 5 years from whenever they were made. So before you actually go ahead and purchase one, just make sure that you come up with either a list or you determine exactly what you will be using this tablet for. It wouldn't make sense for you to go for an iPad Pro when you won't. Most people don't even use half the potential of what the iPad Pro can offer. Now, that doesn't mean if you don't need it, don't buy it. If you like the iPad Pro, go for it. But if you are just looking for value and you're really concerned with the best bang for your buck and you're in the market for an iPad or an Apple device, then this one is for you. But anyways, I hope that this was informative. Please don't forget to like, comment, share if you know anyone who might be interested in watching this video. Make sure to share this video. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. As always, of course, up until that next video, make sure to stay safe out there.